Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. For those of you catching the replay, or if you are new to my channel, sorry, I'm trying to level this out. I have the hardest time getting my phone to be looking sort of level. I think that's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, my name's Janna, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Okay, sorry, just adjusting the lighting. Okay, so welcome in. If you have the ability to get on the chat and say hello and tell me where you're watching from, I always love that. I do have a few announcements today. I've got a gingerbread card for Christmas card to do, which I think is going to be fun. But let me do these announcements first. So, Stampin' Up! Starting October 6th through the 8th, so just for a few days. If you like kits, they are going to have up to 30% off on their all-inclusive kits, so 3 days only. Kits are kind of fun, especially if you have lost your mojo. You don't have to think about it because everything you need is in there, and you don't have to come up with the design because it's already there for you. Plus you end up with, some really nice cards or projects, whatever the kit may be. And I'm sorry if you hear that banging around noise. Hi, Angela. The gutter cleaners are here right now. So yeah, they're up there with power washers and banging around. So I'm sure you can probably hear that. Okay, October 6th through the 8th. So up to 30% off the kits. Excuse me. So if you're interested, you might want to write yourself a note about that. I do have the link to my shopping channel in the description box if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Okay, and then this is in effect right now for the rest of the month. This is a really good deal. Even if you just sign up for literally yourself to just get a discount. There's two different signing up deals right now. The first one, for $35, you can sign up and pick out $125 worth of product of your choice. It's like a no-brainer. Get $125 worth of stuff for $35. And if that's all you do, then so be it. You can sign up, and if you have other friends that live around you or whatever, and you would like to go in together to place orders, through you, then you can do that. So to maintain your demonstratorship, you have to sell or buy whatever $300 worth, retail dollars worth, within every quarter. So every 3-month period, you have to do $300 in retail sales. So that's just if you want to stay a demonstrator and keep that discount. If you just wanted to sign up for $35 and get $125 worth of stuff and leave it at that, you can do that. No biggie. You're not going to get any talk back about it from me or anything. The second one is same kind of deal, except you get more. It costs you more, $99. You can pick out $189 worth of product. And right now, if you signed up right now, you can order early the next group of online exclusive products that are coming out that won't be available until probably next month. Yeah, so you can see them early, order them early, and you know that could be in with your $189 worth of products or $125 worth of products. So it's really simple to sign up. You just go on to my shopping site, or if you have another demonstrator, that person's shopping site, and there's a link to sign up. It just walks you through all the steps. The shipping on this first order only to sign up is free. So there's that. It really is a great deal. And then, okay, so I told you about the kits. I told you about these. So I have the biggest announcement is, come the first of the year, I'm not going to do Stampin' Up anymore. So let me step back a step. If you want to sign up, but because I'm not going to be a demonstrator come the first of the year, and you don't want to sign up under me, I can give you the name of my upline, which is Joe Rauch, Rauch is how you spell her last name, and it's J-O. And you could sign up with her, or if there's another demonstrator that you know. If you signed up with me and you did it just to get the discount, nothing would happen when I quit doing Stampin' Up. You would just be a demonstrator. You wouldn't have an upline. So if that doesn't matter to you, you know, and you want to sign up under me, that's fine. Sorry about the banging. So yeah, let me tell you why I'm not going to do it anymore. There's really two kind of reasons. The biggest reason is because I have, and many of you already know this because I talk about it, but I have a room full of so many fun things here to play with. Stamps, dies, inks, all of that stuff that aren't just Stampin' Up. And I want to play with that stuff, and I want to do videos with that stuff and make projects and show you guys things. And so my videos aren't going to come to an end. Just the fact that I'm only doing it with Stampin' Up! Products. That's the only thing. So that's my biggest reason. The other reason is that I see a great lean towards scrapbooking with Stampin' Up! Now. I mean, they're still doing everything else too, but it's kind of the way I'm seeing it, changing some of the products. And I'm not a scrapbooker, so scrapbooking's never been my thing. I was with Close to My Heart for 20 years prior to this, and Fun Stamper's Journey in between, but the reason I left Close to My Heart was because their focus was really scrapbooking, and so it just wasn't working. So Angela, you are in Salem. You know, do you think every state has a Salem? Because the capital of our state here, Oregon, is Salem, Oregon. I know there's like a Toledo, I think, in every state. It's so funny. Okay, so enough of all that jibber jabber. Let's get to the card. All right, so let me grab the stamps and dies. So I'm going to be doing the gingerbread man, but you know, this doesn't have to just be a man. So the stamps are the photopolymer, and it's a really big stamp, but the dies are, you know, look at this. So you can make a shape card with this die. It's connected with a score line, or this would be so cute to make gingerbread banners with, I think. And there's lots of fun little accessories and stuff in here. But I'm going to do a card today to show you how to use the die and stuff to just make one gingerbread man or woman, whatever the case may be. So I had to use pink. I just love doing gingerbread stuff and Christmas stuff in general with pink and green and mint green. I just think they're so pretty. So I did die cut out some of the little things ahead of time. I stamped and, oh, there they go. Can you see how glittery they are? I'm not sure. I stamped and die cut these out. Oh, and in the dies, you get two dies for the gumdrops, which is handy. And then I put some, well, let me grab it. It's like Stickles, but I think it's maybe Michael's brand. I didn't want the iridescence. I just wanted the sugary, sparkly look. So I used this. It's Studio G. And it's just nice and sparkly without all the iridescence, which I love that too, but you know, when you want a certain look. I cut out this piece using the, using the Arches dies. Where'd it go? Here it is. So it's the Everyday Arches dies, and you get a bunch of them. They have little dotted stitching on them, and there's 10 in that set. I cut out some snowflakes, and I used this retired snowflake set called Stitch Snowflake Dies, and there's a ton of them in there. And I used this retired itty bitty Christmas stamp set for my little sentiment today. So let's get started. My base, this gorgeous pink, is bubblegum. No, that's not right. I always want to call it bubblegum. Bubble Bath. Hi, Danita. You're from Oregon, huh? Imagine that. Danita is my bestie, and she lives in the town I grew up in. Okay, so Bubble Bath pink card base. The arch that I cut, I used this paper, which is new, the Christmas tags and more. So there's all these fun die cuts in here and some tags so you can make your own Christmas tags. But I used the back of one of these, I think it was the tags actually. Yeah. Because I wanted the gingham. So that's the paper. But let's get going with the gingerbread. Okay, so I'm using pecan, however you like to say it, pie. And I've already got my stamp mounted up here. I've got a mess over here on the side because I have everything over here that I'm using, and it's starting to create a craft-a-lanch over there. Okay, so I'm using my Stamparatus today, which Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these anymore because they were forced to quit selling them, unfortunately. Oh, well, I don't have my stamp mounted there, so I need to move it up. There we go. Let me see if that works. Yes, I believe it will. Okay, so I'm actually going to first take my little embossing buddy powder bag and wipe my cardstock off with that because I'm going to heat emboss, and I don't want embossing powder sticking where I don't want it. And I'm going to ink my little gingerbread person up with Versamark. And you can put different faces on your gingerbread. So there's this face. There's this one like, ooh, there's a winky face. There's this one, and that's the one I'm using. And I don't think that's eyes. I think that's buttons. Not positive. Oh, now, excuse me, I think I got that powder up my nose. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up really well with my Versamark, which is a clear, sticky embossing ink. Let me get my little tray here. Oh my goodness, there's just too much stuff over here. All right, and I've got my white embossing powder. Because I wanted it to look like the frosting. Okay, I think we're good with that. My tray is really old, but Stampin' Up! Has a really nice one. It's black and you get other things with it. I think like tweezers and different little goodies. And it has a plug in the hole down there, which is handy. Mine never had a plug. It just was like it is. Okay, there we go. All right. I hope you'll stick around for story time today because I have something different. We're all done with Fairyopolis. So it's just going to be something a little different today. You want to be careful when you pull these dies off of the tape that you don't accidentally bend them because the tape that holds them on is pretty strong. Okay, so now as you can see, this is one big die. And if you missed the beginning, what I said is that this creates a folded shaped card right here in the middle. It's connected and it just has a score that allows you to fold it in half. But you could also use this die to connect and make banners, which would be lots of fun. Okay, so I am going to put this on here. And get it where I want it. And I'm going to use some of my little Post-it style tape here to hold it in place. Okay, so now, oh, that's not going to hold it. I've used those pieces a little more than once, so they're probably just not as sticky. That ought to do it. Okay, so you can see that it's wide, so it's going to have to go through your machine that away. So let me run it through and I'll be right back. Oh, I'm going to have to reposition it real quick because when I turned it over, because I ran it through my machine upside down, I didn't have, it was going off the edge on this one side. So I think I'm going to do it the opposite way here and use this side. Okay. Hopefully it'll work this time. All right, I think that's gonna do it. Oh, did it slide? Are you kidding me? How did that happen when I had it taped down so well? Let's see what it looks like before oh no. That didn't work out well, you guys. It slid. I need probably to use a magnetic plate. Oh, well, that's not good. Let me grab a new piece of cardstock here. We got to have it work right. We'll do a take two, okay? Good thing I didn't undo all of this stuff, because that'll just make it a little bit quicker to redo. So sorry. It sort of looks like a bevel. What? Tell me what, oh, okay, I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully. I don't know why that did that. I thought I had it fastened down pretty good. Our gutters were, if you just got on, that's what the noise is in the background. They're here cleaning our gutters. They were pretty bad because of all the trees that we had trimmed and cut down. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to use a piece of this stronger stuff here. Okay, you guys, cross your fingers and toes. It didn't move that way, but my gingerbread person looks like a mummy. All that tape on there. Okay, I think we got it now. I'm really careful with that because that is removable, but it's also very strong. Okay, so here we go. So see how it does that. So then you just take your scissors and simply trim that off. There we go. Okay, so now we have one single gingerbread person. And I am going to grab my pecan pie ink. Hi, Sue. And take it around the edges here. Because I want it to look like a cookie, not like a cutout, if you know what I mean. You know, when you bake cookies, they get that browned edge. I just like to have that on my gingerbread things. And it's already got the frosting on there. Okay, there we go. Now then, I'm going to grab, I'm looking for my Flirty Flamingo. Here it is. Because I want to give it some pink cheeks. So there's some pink cheeks. And then I'm going to bring my little cutter in here. I love this thing. I've got a piece of red glitter paper and another piece from that paper pack with this kind of pretty minty seafoam green here. And let me bring the dies back. Put this back where it goes. Somewhere like that. So I want the little scarf die, and I want this fun bow. There's a hat, there's candy cane, there's candies and a lollipop. You can use this one right here and take it across like one of the legs or something, like there's been a bite taken out of or a broken piece. That's a fun thing you can do with it. So it's just a fun set. All right, so I am going to put this on there and this on here. I better put a little piece of tape on that one. Okay. So the bow is in 3 pieces here, which allows you to kind of play around with it if you want to make the tails on it a little bit different. You can adjust that. Okay, so let me bring my little bobbers back over because I want my seafoam and my seafoam ink. And I'm just going to, there's some like score marks. It actually cuts through the paper. So I'm just going to bend that back a little bit so I can get in there to kind of ink this up like where the knot in the scarf would be, just to give it a little bit of character here. And there's one on the other side of the knot. And there's one right there. You just want to be gentle with it when you do that. And then I'm just going to take it around the edges here. And you totally don't have to do this. It's all in what you like. I just like to do that little bit of inking. Okay, so there's that. Okay, let's get the scarf on our gingerbread. And then I'm going to do the bow for her hair. So if you didn't want the tails coming down, you could totally snip them apart and make them coming out the sides over here, but I'm fine with them going down. And then there's the little knot part. Okay, well, I'm just not being patient enough with my glitter. It takes a minute for it to grab. So my gingerbread's going to have a little bow on her head. So cute. I think I need to, well, it looks like it's got plenty enough glue. I'll put a little bit more just to make it happy. Okay, let's just let that sit there. So now I showed you the snowflake die set I used. I heavily went over them with Wink of Stella. I didn't want them, I just wanted them shimmery. I think you can see it. I didn't want to take away from the glitter that I put, her glitter bow or the glitter of the gumdrops. So I decided to just do the Wink of Stella on those. You know, when you have the stacking dies, like these arch dies, you can always make frames with them because they come in the varying sizes. So it's easy to use them if you're wanting to make a frame for something. I just thought I would mention that because I know sometimes people do things or mention things and it's like, why didn't I think of that? That happens to me all the time. And usually it's just something so simple and easy and it's like, I would not have thought to do that. Our minds all think a little differently and create a little differently, I think. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to put my snowflakies. These are so pretty. Let me get my tweezers. We went to a really fun car show on Sunday. Took part in it. Out in the middle of farmland in what seemed like the middle of nowhere. And it was a big fundraiser put on by a Catholic church, and there were over 400. It's the biggest car show we've taken part in. There were over 400 cars and airplanes. It was a fly-in, so there were all these small airplanes too. And the church put on a meal that was, I'm telling you, those church ladies must have cooked it because it was so good. They had big barbecue pits and they barbecued up chicken. So your meal was I don't know if it was a quarter of the chicken or half the chicken, but you got a lot. So it was chicken, and then it was kind of funny. There was a lot of starchy, but it was not like a choice. It's just you got it all. So you got the chicken, and you got um, homemade noodles with chicken in it, and mashed potatoes and gravy, and green beans with bacon, and a roll in butter, and the best coleslaw I have ever had in my life. I would love to have their recipe. And then you got your choice of pumpkin pie, apple pie, or chocolate cake. And I chose the apple pie, which was heavenly. The crust was so delicious. So they had a lot of, well, I told you with the cars, there were a lot of planes too, but I can't remember how many planes. But they had a really good turnout of people coming, spectators, and just people coming for the food, I think. So we'll probably want to do that again next year. It was just a last minute decision for us to go to it and take part in it, and then we were really glad that we did. Okay, so there's that, and I'm just gonna let that sit there for a minute. And inside, where's my stamps? Here they are. Inside, I'm going to put sugar and spice and everything nice. So I'm gonna grab my Misty since I have that gingerbread on my other doohickey. And I'm going to use real red. Now I can see I'm getting it all over like I usually do. Ooh, there's an ant. What the heck? Yeah, I could see I didn't get the bottom of the Y there. Let me see if that will fix it. And then I just took a little scrap of that same plaid, and I'm just going to create a little banner to decorate the inside a little bit here. Okay. And then I've got just a circle here, and from that retired stamp set that now, but I can't find what I did with it. How does stuff go missing? I mean, it can't go very far. It's all right here. This one, Itty Bitty Christmas. I have Oh What Yum. And I'm going to use my real red again. Let's see here. I'm going to pop up my gingerbread person. I hear no more water spraying or banging around, so I'm guessing the gutter cleaners are done and gone. Yeah, my bow is still not sticking. I did not have that problem the first time. Okay, we're going to put our little gingerbread person right up here. Maybe I got too much glue on it. Okay, and then I'm going to glue my Oh What Yum right here. And I've got my little gumdrops here. And I've got two little gumdrops left over, so I think I'll put one on the inside of this card and one on the inside of the first card I made. Okay, now then, I have the peppermints, which I absolutely love these peppermints. And so I'm going to put one peppermint there. And these peppermints come in 3 different sizes. So there's small, medium, and large. I'll put one there. That's a fancy cookie. Okay, and let's see. I think I could put it up here on the banner. Or I could just put it, I think I'll just put it in the corner down there. Or I could put it up here by the word sugar. There. There's the first one I made. There we go. Cute. What do you think? I hope you like it. I think it turned out cute. Okay, so I'll just let you look at these while I read my story today for story time. And I wasn't sure. I was looking at different books I have and stuff since we don't have Fairyopolis. It's done. Thank you, Sue. And this popped up on Facebook, and I just thought, I read it and I thought, you know what, that's a great story. I'm going to figure out how to print that off of Facebook, which I finally did, and use that for my story today. And this just popped up on my Facebook page, you know how things do, from a page called, must just be this person, Lisa Resnick, R-E-S-N-I-C-K. And it's just a, I think, public page. All right, here's the story. The night they told me I couldn't bring soup anymore, my students didn't argue or complain. They just lined the hallway outside room 214, shivering, stubborn, holding cans and bowls like a quiet army of hope. I teach 10th grade English in a room where the radiator hisses, the clock sticks on the wrong minute, and the ceiling tiles map out the Great Lakes and water stains. For years, I've kept my head down and done the work. But 3 winters ago, when my son died in a crash less than a mile from my home, the light inside me went out. I walked through life like a house with all its windows nailed shut. Soup brought me back by accident. That first bitter Thursday, I carried in a pot of corn chowder. Too much time, bacon ends floating like driftwood. I taped a note on the door. Soup and poetry. No grades, just warmth. I told myself it was for the kids who came to class hungry, but the truth is I needed it too. The smell of steam filling a room can feel like prayer. Only 5 came that week. Deshawn, who sleeps through commas but writes verses that thrum like bass. Maya, who lives like bass, sorry. Maya, who lives in a minivan with her mom and carries Emily Dickinson in her memory like a hymn. Jaden and the quiet twins, who never say much but return library books on time, and Mr. Green, our security guard, who shows up right when the soup is ladled, pretending he's just checking the towels. I rang a little brass bell once. Deshawn rapped about cafeteria pizza. Maya recited, "Hope is the thing with feathers," her glasses fogged from the chowder. Mr. Green murmured how his late wife used to hum while she stirred soup. And I read something clumsy I'd scribbled at midnight. They clapped anyway. By week 4, it doubled. A cheerleader with a wrapped ankle, a freshman who stuttered when he spoke but not when he read aloud, a mother from the shelter holding her toddler. The pot emptied faster every time. Someone posted a TikTok, steam rising, kids laughing, my chipped ladle, and strangers clicked hearts 30,000 times. That's when the email landed. Subject: concerns regarding after-school food distribution, liability, allergies, not aligned with district goals. Please discontinue. I stared until the words blurred. My son's blue ribbon bracelet dug into my wrist, the one I've worn since the crash. For 3 years, I'd taught essays and grammar with a piece of me nailed to that roadside cross. Soup was the only thing that cracked the window open. Still, that Thursday, I came with an empty pot. The hallway was sharp with February cold. I expected silence. Instead, the walls were lined with students and neighbors, each carrying something: a can of chicken noodle, a styrofoam bowl, a borrowed crock pot. Mr. Green wheeled in a cart like he was leading a parade. Ms. Alvarez, Deshawn grinned, though his voice shook. If you can't cook, we'll bring the soup to you. I wanted to scold them, to read the email out loud. Instead, I set the empty pot on the desk like a crown. I slipped off my son's bracelet and laid it beside the bell. I rang twice. 2 rings means say the hard thing. Maya stepped forward, eyes down. We got kicked out of the church lot last night. A woman gave us a blanket, smelled like her house. It helped. I'm sorry about my voice. The freshman raised a hand. My mom's chemo makes food taste like pennies. Could we try a soup that tastes like not pennies? Mr. Green leaned on the cart. My wife always added a splash of apple cider vinegar. Brightens the broth. His voice cracked, eyes lifted toward the ceiling as if she was nodding along. We didn't light burners, we didn't break rules. We opened cans, poured, read, listened. Even the hiss of a can being opened felt holy. The next morning, a photo of our hallway ran in the local paper. Then the superintendent's phone rang. Then a church down the block offered their certified kitchen. The corner store pledged carrots and onions. A retired nurse volunteered to manage allergies. Parents signed waivers. Someone even 3D printed a sign for my classroom door. Room 214, warm meals, warmer words. The district relented. 6-month pilot program, paperwork thicker than any poem deserves, but official, real, protected. Yesterday, a new boy lingered by the door. His coat was too thin, his eyes on the floor. Ms. Alvarez, he whispered, my mom's sick. Can you teach me how to make soup? I put the ladle in his hand. It was heavier than he expected. Mercy usually is. First, I said, you stir like this, then you talk. We stirred, we listened. Someone rang the bell once for poetry. Here's what I've learned. Policy can count calories and minutes, but kindness counts breaths. You can't fix a hungry world with one pot, but you can teach 100 trembling hands to stir and to speak while the steam is rising. And again, that was by Lisa Resnick. It's a Facebook page. So I'm not sure what else she might have, but I just thought this was a really nice story. We need nice, right? With all the crap that's going on in the world. So anyway, thanks for hanging around if you waited and listened to the story. And I hope you enjoyed these cute gingerbread cards. Let me bring the stamps over again and the dies, because like I've said, you could use this die set to make some really cute banners and all the other fun pieces. So there's lots of fun playing to be had with this. Okay, I hope you have a great weekend ahead and that you get to do something crafty. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you can give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you next time in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.